This video is about Poseidon. It is very important. I'll try to make it brief and do it in two parts, just like I will do the Perseus one in two parts. His gear, his equipment, is important. If I remember the N word, means no gear. Now let's see what else they do to sabotage people like me. Now that it's the end, it's kind of like slavery. They're eventually going to look back at it and be like, oh, we did this, and oh no, like it doesn't have any long-term effects, and they'll keep back to my bitches. Okay. So Poseidon, whose Roman equivalent is Neptune, think Neptune, right? And backwards, right? It's E-knot, pan, right? Remember ripe, rope, rape, right? Tying a knot, right? Neptune, right? Poseidon. Okay, pussy, I, don, pass, E, add, on, right? On, raw is called center. We can do a lot of wordplay here. I'll put it in the comments, okay, in the description if I remember. So basically, he's the god of the sea, other waters, earthquakes, soil, storms, and of horses. Remember, Set is also a storm god. And we see the Canaanite storm gods and Typhoon and so on and so forth, and the various storm gods and the Sumerian storm gods and so on and so forth. Okay. El and so on and so forth. So, in pre-Olympian Bronze Age Greece, he was venerated as chief deity at Pylos and Thebes. Remember, Thebes also has a location, a place called Thebes in Egypt, right? Amen's cult center. There's all kinds of wordplay there. I'm just going to skip over that. One of it is sea bat. Remember, bat is on the kilt of the Narmer on the Narmer palette. Okay. Also, when you look at Poseidon pose Diana, right? There's a lot of gender-neutral stuff, and how they turn them out is also, there's a glimpse of that in here. We'll get to that soon. In the Iliad, Poseidon supports the Greeks against the Trojans. The Trojan War. I should probably make another video about that. In the Odyssey, Odysseus provokes him by blinding his son, the Cyclops, Polyphemus, which ironically backwards is sun up I loop or sun up low P. I don't think it's a coincidence that they caused me photophobia. This has, Horus is the patron of the blind. There's all kinds of connections here. And we'll connect Horus ultimately to Poseidon through Apollo at the end, the fake forms of Horus, that is. So Poseidon punishes him with storms, the loss of his ships and companions, and a 10-year delay. So he punishes Odysseus for blinding his son, the Cyclops, Polyphemus. Okay. A common epithet of Poseidon is Einoshtetun, the earth shaker. Okay. So there's various theories of the wordplay here. Most of them seem pretty sound. It's pretty much a mix of all, from what I gather. Posis, P-O-S-I-S, right? P-Isis, the wordplay. We'll leave that alone for now. From Pi, husband or lord, right? Lord. Remember, he's a storm god. Set is a word with Isis. I don't think that's a coincidence. The earth, they say day, from the day part of his name, and they also bring up G, and they say that's part of the word, the etymology as well. Poseidon, right? Day one. Master of waters, footband, right? So he's saying that because the waters kind of slow you down when you walk ashore, that there's something there, and ultimately this is a way to kind of hinder the skywalker, is the idea, right? Find a way to interfere with his feet. That goes back to Mercury, the wind sandals, okay? Terrain, right? Terrain, right? Background check the ground, and so on and so forth. Anyway, so he's said to have known, he knew many things, okay? It goes back to the tree of knowledge. It's interesting, in the story of Pasiphae, the wife of King Minos, right, sister of Circe, mates with the white bull in the story. It turns out the white bull is the pre-Olympian Poseidon. Okay. And of course you have Neptune's kingdom in Santa Cruz. Okay. And Poseidon rapes Medusa, right, in her story, and she was in a temple to Athena, and we'll get into that with the Perseus video. In Athens, right? How important is Athens, right? In Athens, he was second only to Athena. That's key here. Of all the gods and goddesses, right? So Alexander the Great, before the battle of Issus, I-S-S-U-S, you can't make this up, ladies and gentlemen, prayed to Poseidon and caused a 4-horse chariot to be cast into the waves. Remember, horse, martial arts, horse, scale, see, martial, right? Mars, right? Horse, mares, right? Paean, P-A-E-A-N, is a hymn to song to Apollo and at times to Poseidon. This is interesting, right? Because you have in this you have the word EA and you have the word pan. Not a coincidence, folks. Remember, EA is inky, right? EA Sports. It's in the game. The god of mischief, fertility, semen, waters, magic, crafts, knowledge, intelligence. Anyway, going back to the tree of knowledge. Right? There's a lot of things that connect Sumer, Canaan, Syria, all these places together in the magic kind of card perspective of Egypt. Okay. So, again, Apollo is said to have provided authorization for colonists to go settle. Ouch, right? To blame Christianity is stupid. It is really those Greek societies in college, the science departments, right? Who gave them the muskets, who gave them the ships, right? These are sciences, architecture, ship building, right? Construction, and so on and so forth, right? Who being on board, right? They were on board with the plan, right? And what kind of spirit were they doing it in? Apollo provided authorization for the colonists to go settle, and Poseidon, this rape deity, watched over them on their way. Remember, he raped Medusa, and he's not the only one he raped. After he raped Caeneus, Caeneus, Poseidon fulfilled her request and turned her into a male warrior. We see this kind of parallels on the left. I'll let you figure that out. Now, this is very disturbing. I've been saying for the longest, just like a pimp turns people out, there's sex cults all over the place turning people out, right? And they expect me to be cool with it and turn a blind eye. And it's painful. Especially some of these women, they go out of their way to be attractive and to be tantalizing and temptive and dress provocatively. And sometimes they have this soft skin and this various way. It fucks with your head, right? You research this stuff, especially as long as I have 10 years on record on YouTube alone, it fucks with your head. You're like, these people are stealing the knowledge so they can control sex and money, and they're rubbing in your face shipmate, ownership, leadership, flagship, birth, semen, and so on and so forth. Pirates, raping, corporate, core pirate, and so on and so forth. Anyway, Poseidon is blamed for certain types of epilepsy, right? This is key, okay? Because also Apollo is a deity of plagues, okay? He's a deity of science. Remember, they work together. He gives an authorization, Poseidon protects them, right? Plagues, medicine, right? Problem solution. Now remember, Poseidon slows down the legs. Remember, Depakote, right? Gives you one of the side effects. I used to put this thing out all the time to prove my point in my other channels. It is stiff muscles, right? It slows down the skywalking. On so many levels, they're violating my freedom of religion by trying to force psych meds on me and covertly drugging me, right? This prevents me from doing my martial arts, which is key. It's just the core of my religion, okay? It's even right there in the word ki, right? It's ki, which refers to the energy, the martial art energy, right? It's a fucking key part of the religion, right? Meditation in motion, tai chi, ki, chi-uku, chuku, the great chi, which can also be said as key, and there's other wordplay there that is important as well. So when we see another name for Poseidon epithet is Helikonios, because he's the protector of Mount Helikons. Helikons. You can't make this up. Helikons. Okay, and of course it goes back to he inflicts epilepsy on people. Okay. Remember, he works with Apollo in medicine and plagues and psych meds, pharmakeia, sorcery, which is also what Zeus in the book Circe, at least, is said to have fed Kronos or Saturn to get him to vomit up, venomous stone, pharmakeia to ultimately cause him to throw up his brothers and sisters, including Poseidon, right? Poseidon and Hades. The earth was split. Zeus got the sky. Hades, the underworld, Poseidon, the sea, and they all shared the earth, okay? And of course, we'll get into, I'm going to end it with this, and then we'll go into Poseidon part 2 later. We'll get into the Perseus and how he wears the helm of darkness or the cap of Hades that allows him to be invisible or really hidden in plain view. Now, I find this very disturbing. Normally I start yelling and screaming, but, I'm just going to leave it there. You better believe this pisses me off. You better believe this pisses me off. You better believe that I think that people should pay the dearest price. But I'm going to just leave it here. I'm going to put some pictures at the end to prove my point. Wrap it up. I remember African Americans have been Masons in America for several hundred years. Around 1776, the Prince Hall Masons were said to have been made with black military men. So when we hear these things like rock the drawers, right? Don't rock the boat. Rocking them drawers, right? It's connected to this stuff as well. Okay? So that versus the rock you'll build the church, this has to do with lateral movements, right? Rocking back and forth, okay? Skywalking in motion. Okay? We say people are thrown off. They're unbalanced. The chemical imbalance, right? See, ham, I, call, I, kill, right? I, see, replace the, scramble the letters, the last two letters. Low, right? Let ears, right? Alphabet, right? Interchangeable vowels. So anyway, thrown off, unbalanced, right? He's thrown off, right? You know, he's drunk, he's da-da-da-da-da, right? So obviously, there's ways to throw people off. There's more than one way. And this also includes, this also why it's rape, to throw people off and then take advantage. Okay, I'm sure you can figure that out. Obviously, it pisses me off. Who's on board with the plan and so on and so forth. Okay, trap and part backwards and so on and so forth. You know. Now, this doesn't really reflect everyone in the city, but of course, in Santa Cruz, you have the idea Satan cruise in Neptune's kingdom. Now let's look at the idea of provoke. But don't forget to look at the pictures on the screen. By all means, they're very key. Provoke, rape, vi, key, right? Rope, ripe, rape, vi, key, or av, key, right? Reap, av, key. Reap, okay, of, key, and so on and so forth. This basically refers to if you rape this person, you'll get raped, is one way to interpret it in prison. You provoke this person to turn them out. You provoke this person to kill their eye, to change their view, right? To make them focus on carnal desire instead of love and romance. So there's sexually provocative. There's also provoking them to violence. And it's kind of like the hunt in general. The hunt, the hone, the haunt, you know. Provoking people to violence. Poor people in general. The system, all the different ways you can provoke people to do something they wouldn't otherwise do, right? Erp, vi, key. Erp, av, key. Right, erp meaning wine in the Egyptian language.